Hey guys, Orlando here. Today I'm going to be reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yes, I'm fully aware that this movie was released like 3 years after the first one, but canonically in the timeline it still takes place within the year 2014, about 3 or 4 months after the first one. So here we are. This time around the Guardians are doing their Galaxy Guarding stuff, and eventually they run into a guy who claims to be Peter Quill's real father, and it turns out it is his father, and the whole movie is just, him getting to know his father and stuff, and it's a really heartfelt movie, and I love it. This time around, the movie isn't really shy to be more of who it's trying to be. Like the first movie, they kind of played it safe, but you can see how vastly different this movie is with how colorful everything is and like everything's vibrant. And I love it because compared to the first movie is actually pretty dull in color. Like sure, it's interesting to see like aliens and stuff in the first movie, but comparative to this movie is 10 times more colorful and it makes the world feel even more alive, which I love. As I mentioned, Peter Quill meets his father, and his father in this movie is played by Kurt Russell, which is fucking insane. I love Sky High. Kurt Russell plays Ego the Living Planet, who is quite physically a living, breathing planet, which is insane how they're doing comic book shit. Just like, it's crazy like how much they're committing to it. This movie has quite a few subplots going on at the same time as the main movie, which could be a turnoff to people, but I found them really enjoyable and wasn't really a waste of space for me because it developed side characters that really didn't get that much development in the first movie, which are basically Nebula and Yondu. Honestly, in my heart, this is Yondu's movie. He has one of the most character developments in the movie, and of course, the emotion hits home by the end of the movie with Yondu. I know it's been like a trend of me like spoiling these MCU movies because they've been out for so long and so many people have seen it, but this movie I won't spoil it just for the few people who might have not seen it yet, because the emotions that hit you in this movie are fucking crazy, and everybody needs to experience that for the first time. I mentioned in the first movie that I love the Awesome Misk Volume 1. This movie, of course, includes Volume 2, which is why it's called Volume 2. However, I didn't feel like the soundtrack was as strong as it was in the first one. Like, the first one felt so unique, and it felt like it told a story throughout the entire movie. But this movie, it felt like they just included the soundtrack because it had to be a staple of these movies. And really only 2 songs I really felt like a connection to that really helped tell the story. I mentioned I love what they did with Yondu's character, and I also love what they did with Nebula's character. And once again, the comedy in this movie is amazing. I forgot to mention, Howard the Duck is in these movies, which means Howard the Duck is in the MCU, which means he could probably be the one to save us from Thanos, because he's Howard the fucking Duck. He's Howard the fucking Duck. The comedy this time around in the movie was amazing. Even though it made me laugh really hard in some instances, other times in the movie I felt like it was predictable. Like you knew there was a serious moment coming, but of course they can't be too serious in this wacky movie with aliens, even though everybody loves them already. So of course you predict that there's gonna be a joke right after that serious sentence, and that happens a couple times in this movie. It's really predictable, and I didn't like that. Like it would have been perfectly fine to have that serious moment and just have it play out. Like, it would have made these characters even better, in my opinion. That's not to say that it detracts from them as characters. I just wish the movie wasn't like, oh, let's make it funny. It's because we have to have a lighthearted tone because everybody loves us. This movie isn't quite structured as the first one was. The first one had a definite, plot and everything to it. Like, everything was real straightforward. You knew who the villain was. This movie is more like up in the air, like as you're watching it, and you don't really know shit until like the very last act. But I was perfectly fine with it because it's an emotional piece of work. I love how much this film just gets you in your emotions and gets you hooked to these characters, and you feel the shit that they feel. It's amazing. The acting, once again, is great from everybody. Everybody's amazing. Baby Groot is amazing. You know how many toys he sold? A lot. But it was kind of disappointing because I feel like Baby Groot and then my homeboy Drax didn't really get that much screen time. But I also love the new addition Mantis to the group. She's really cool. I love her power set. And the lady that plays her too, Palm, I can't pronounce her last name, but Palm is great. I love the way she plays Mantis so much. Unpopular opinion, I like this movie more than I did the first. Just by a little bit, just because of how much the emotions hit me. Even just rewatching it now, I'm like, damn, this shit is still hitting me. And in the end, I give this movie a very solid 9 out of 10. Have you guys seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? If you have, or if you agree or disagree with my opinion, let me know in the comments down below. I will be putting up end cards. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed my movie review and would like to see more. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.